Hello, my name is Janice B. Gordon. This is Scale Your Sales podcast. Welcome to the Scale Your Sales podcast, listed number 9 of 42 best podcasts for every sales professional in 2021. I am Janice B. Gordon, the customer growth expert, recommended by LinkedIn as one of 15 innovative sales influencers to follow in 2021. Selling is the oldest profession. People must trade to live. It touches everyone and everywhere. What would happen if through this profession of sales, we lifted up every human with full access to equality, if we served with great dignity and unbiased humility? I want to live in a world like that. Let us all break the bias. This is my quote for International Women's Day. This is on March the 8th, and Break the Bias describes a gender equal world, a world free of bias and stereotypes and discrimination, a world that is diverse, equitable and inclusive, a world where difference is valued and celebrated. Today we can forge women's equality, and collectively we can all break the bias. Campaigning for women in sales is an important principle of Scale Your Sales podcast. Hence, we platform 50% of women guests and 20% ethnic minority guests to ensure that we get and demonstrate a diversity of views, experience and opinion. This is really important to us at Scale Your Sales podcast. Now, I have to admit, I have to do, and my team, a lot of hard work to resource relevant women in sales and particularly ethnic minorities and secure them as guests. Now, they're not always visible, and understandably, minorities, as we are in sales, are not always open to discuss the issues for fear that they may be backlash. And that is really understandable. But this is why it's so much more important for us to campaign for parity, so that in the future, this isn't an issue. So let me quote some of the recent research in this area. And I read a Harvard Business Review article recently, Why Women Are the Future of B2B Sales. And I thought it'd be quite interesting to quote some of the stats that were in this article, because it's very relevant now and it demonstrates that there's still more progress to be made. Now, although women make up just over half the college-educated workforce, and that's whether in the UK or the US, and I'm sure many other countries, they hold less than 1/3 of B2B sales jobs. This was a stat is according to the 2019 Bureau of Labour Statistics data. Women are unrepresented in B2B sales, and this is across most industries. Yet, the research shows that women salespeople often outperform men. In 2019, a study by Axley reported that 86% of women achieved quota compared to 78% of men. Now, one area of success is in the number of customer success managers. These as salespeople encourage customer loyalty and retention. And retention is such an important area for the Scale Your Sales framework. And they do this by helping customers realize ongoing value. So customer success managers succeed by connecting, collaborating, and shaping solutions. And once again, these capabilities are the strengths of women. Although women hold only a quarter of high-tech sales jobs, career data sources reports that at least 50% and as high as 70% of customer success managers are women. In April 2020, women were leading global customer success teams. They were leading them, and at many tech companies, including Oracle and Salesforce. Now, I know Oracle has made a massive investments in numbers and money in terms of really upping their customer experience and customer success. So it'll be interesting to continue to track the results there. Now, according to a LinkedIn report, women represent 39% of the workforce in sales. The percentage has only increased by 3% over the last decade. And actually, if you look, 2 or 3 decades, it hasn't really increased very much at all. Not surprisingly, the percentage of decreases as seniority increases, with the lower percentage of women represented in VP and CXO positions. Now, this is according to the Harvard Business Review article. Now, I'm going to put in all of the links in the show notes so that you can link through to where the stats come through that I'm quoting now. So only 21% of VP presidents in sales, vice presidents of sales, are female, 21%. So the future of sales success for many companies is in the rebounding economy post-pandemic will hinge on not only attracting, but also retaining more women into sales roles. Now, the traditional male-dominated industries, this can require eliminating many of the perceptions of sales as the old boys network and creating more gender neutral cultures. Now, one area that I think still needs a lot of help, and I mentioned this a lot on the podcast, is frankly the negative terms used in sales language. Things like killing it. I might get an email saying, "Are you killing it?" And I'll reply back, "No, I'm not killing anything." Hunter as a descriptor of the way you need to be in order to be in sales. Crushing quota, targets. It's like your customers and buyers have a target on their back. Targets. Why do we refer to people, humans, as targets? It's very impersonal and allows the industry to forget that it's a human-to-human, respectful profession, and it's a barrier to people wanting to go into this profession because they think this is not for me, this is not the language I like to live by. These terms certainly do create cultural barriers to women and others that may want to join. Promoting more women to sales management and leadership roles is a clear path to attracting and retaining more female salespeople. After all, if you cannot see it, you can't imagine being it. And if you've got an ambitions to be in a leadership, sales leadership or the like, you need to see others in that role. And especially as company culture really demonstrates whether they are open to promoting women when you see a lot of women at the top. If you don't, then you know that there's barriers. So companies need to do a lot more on this front. Now, it is well documented that diverse sales teams are more creative, and diverse teams in general are creative and boost performance. Now, a study from the University of Illinois at Chicago shows that companies with higher gender diversity in general are 15% more likely to have higher profits. Now, additionally, companies with higher numbers of female board directors have 42% higher return on sales. That's massive. 42% higher return on sales. Now, compared to companies with lower numbers of female board directors. Now, today we talk about diversity in sales being linked to social justice. Well, really, it's overall the right thing to do. It's right not only for the company and performance, it's right for the customers and buyers, it's right for society. There is no way where it isn't right. It's just the right thing to do. Customer expectations of salespeople is changing. There are many RFPs now that contain diversity metrics. So retaining, attracting, promoting women in sales will be a key metric for future sales success. It makes the difference between you getting that deal or getting an opportunity to pitch for the deal or not. So you need to start taking this seriously. And this is why it's something we continue to campaign on and talk about and bring up. The more we talk about it, I would like to see a time when I don't need to be talking about this, but this is why it's really important. More women take on business buying roles, and female salespeople can build stronger relationships with these buyers because they're coming from a similar experience. And so, you know, this is really changing the customer base or access to companies. Now, in order to approach customers with empathy, it's important that your salespeople, your sales force is reflecting the diversity of your customer base. I mean, frankly, women have characteristics and skills that make them a natural fit for sales, like the ability to build trust, nurture relationship, to listen, to provide recommendations. And this is well documented. It's not just my opinion. HubSpot backs this up with their research, saying that their women in their sales teams are 5% more likely to close a deal than men. So this is really powerful. So on the 8th of March, International Women's Day, it's the month that we focus on women in sales on the podcast. So we'll be platforming, you know, women throughout the month. And we have a campaign for International Women's Day as well. Now, this is also a very exciting date that we launch the book, Heels to Deals, How Women Are Dominating in Business-to-Business Sales. And I'm so honored to be one of the co-authors, along with the renowned sales influencers, Laurie Richardson and Jill Conrath, both of who've been guests on Scale Your Sales podcast, and many other eminent and incredible and amazing women authors, 33 in total, have written chapters in the book, Heels to Deals. Now, the book documents how dozens of diverse women around the globe have shattered the glass ceiling to become leaders in the field of sales, professional sales. The central theme is how they found their way, dismissed any negativity, and worked hard for their sales executive success. In a world where male bias boards of directors seem the norm, it's important to shine a light on the women that were able to break through the bias and excel in their profession. It's important not to give respect to the female leaders it's important not to just give respect to the female leaders who are able to push the business bias aside, but also to show younger women that anything is possible, to encourage younger women to get into the sales profession, to shine a light that there are women that have already kind of broken through the glass ceiling. It's important to remind young women that with the right mindset, success is limitless, regardless of gender. And they can not only work in sales, but be at the forefront of change and at the forefront of change. So I'm really proud, and I feel uplifted and empowered by the stories in this book that will help to galvanize women in sales and guide and future generations through their journey, their sales career journey. So the book can be ordered on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. I'm going to put all of the links in the show notes. So please do go out and buy the book and share the book with any other women that are in sales so that it can see other women and how they achieve their success, but also schools, women that are looking around for careers that will suit their character. This is an excellent book to encourage more women into sales, or really just to understand what it takes to succeed in sales and you know, develop your sales career. So I'm really grateful to be a part of this and to be part of International Women's Day. On Scale Your Sales podcast, we continue to fly the flag to galvanize and encourage and inspire women and platform women, and really to increase the professionality of sales, because it really is one of the oldest professions. My name is Janice B. Gordon, and I hope you found this useful. Although I was born in the UK, I've lived in the US and Africa and traveled extensively. And it's an area that I'm really passionate about, diversity, and have platformed this since the 1990s, when my awareness of racism found its voice. I was aware of it before, but really found its voice when I started to talk about it more. And although many things have changed, I'm still frustrated that we've progressed little. Things change, but it's really about what is the impact and what's the long-term progress. Now, I want to live in a world that where we do not feel we need to discuss diversity. But until we do, I will continue to call it out. It's really part of who I am and what I represent. So I'm an international speaker, consultant, educator, and facilitator. I'm known as the customer growth expert because I champion customers and buyers in the sales industry. I'm listed as the top 50 global thought leaders, a leader and influencer in customer experience in 2022, and listed as one of 150 women B2B thought leaders to follow in 2021, and LinkedIn Sales, one of 15 innovating sales influencers to follow in 2021. I'm founder of Scale Your Sales framework and, of course, the podcast. But the framework works with helping enterprising companies to reimagine revenue growth through customer excellence and sales. I'm author of Business Evolution, Creating Growth in a Rapidly Changing World, and also co-author of Heels to Deals, How Women Are Dominating Business-to-Business Sales. I thank you so much for following Scale Your Sales podcast, for sharing it, for reviewing it, and rating the podcast. It really helps to get the message out. So continue to do what you're doing. I look forward to your comments. Please connect with me on LinkedIn, and please do go out and buy the book, Heels to Deals. You're going to love it. There's so many great stories in there. All right, you take care. See you again soon. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Scale Your Sales podcast. If you like this discussion, feel free to listen to other episodes or watch the captioned show on YouTube and subscribe to future episodes. I would really appreciate it if you would leave a positive review on iTunes. Thank you.